morning. This is a defamation case. It's a case about how devastating words can be when they are false and uttered publicly. For nearly 30 years, Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood. Today, his name is associated with a lie uttered by his former wife, the defendant Amber Heard. Specifically, the words that she used published in the Washington Post in December 2018. Quote, 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. Ms. Heard did not use Mr. Depp's name in the op-ed. She didn't have to. 2 years earlier, Ms. Heard had publicly accused Johnny Depp of domestic abuse.
Amber, did Johnny give you that bruise on your face?
Johnny Depp accused of domestic abuse in his sudden split from actress Amber Heard.
Did Johnny brutalize you?
In the wake of the Me Too movement, Amber Heard forever changed Mr. Depp's life and reputation. This trial is about clearing Mr. Depp's name of a terrible and false allegation.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Rattenborn.
May I approach?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Depp's team is going to try to turn this case into a soap opera. Why? I'm not really sure, because the evidence isn't pretty for Mr. Depp. It's not. You're going to see who the real Johnny Depp is. Behind the fame, behind the pirate costume, the man who has described himself, the violent side of himself, as the monster. The monster. You don't see the Washington Post sitting here as a defendant in this courtroom. He only sued Amber. He could have sued the Washington Post. They published the article. But he didn't. And he chose to bring Amber to court here in Virginia, where she has no ties, has never lived, he's never lived, where they never spent any time, because he wanted to ruin her life, to haunt her, to wreck her career. It's not about the soap opera that Depp will turn this case into. It's not about who you like better. It's not even about whether you agree with the words that she wrote. It's about her right to speak them.
Johnny Depp has one of the most brilliant legal teams, and if you need proof of that, I've got a word for you. Virginia. Why would two celebrities from California arguing about something written in the Washington Post file a case in Virginia? In the USA, defamation laws vary state by state, and Virginia has some of the best defamation laws for a matter like this.
Just so we're all on the same page, this is not a divorce case. This is not a domestic violence case. I would argue it's a PR campaign disguised as a defamation case. I don't think Johnny's intention is to win the case here. I think his intention is to clear his name and to control his reputation. There is no PR campaign that has a chance of making an impact as powerful as this trial.
Depp was the one who wanted the cameras in the courtroom.
Oh, really?
She didn't.
Your first witness?
Your Honor, we'd like to call Laura Amber Heard to the stand.
All right.
Will you please state your name?
Yes, it's Amber Laura Heard.
Okay. Now, why are you here?
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
And how do you feel about that?
I struggle to have the words. I struggle to find the words to describe how painful this is. This is horrible.
Okay. All right, yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Mr. Depp.
Good afternoon.
Can you please tell the jury why you're here today?
Yes. About 6 years ago, Ms. Heard made some quite heinous accusations against me that were not based in any species of truth. The infamous People magazine cover with Ms. Heard with a dark bruise on her face. Nothing of the kind had ever happened, though there were arguments.
You are such a baby! Grow the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up. Listen to me, and then you can fucking respond. Understand?
But never did I myself reach the point of striking Ms. Heard in any way, nor have I ever struck any woman.
Sorry. I didn't realize anyone was there. I thought it was just floating.
This is fun. Oh, God. Why did you have that one? Just when I was doing so good with that.
Please describe for the jury your experience in auditioning for the Rum Diary.
Well, I auditioned a few times, which is common in my work. And then I got a call saying that Johnny wanted to meet me in person. I thought I would be going for maybe an audition, but it was just a meeting. I went to his office and met with him for a few hours.
She came to my office. I took one look at her and I thought, yep, that's the one. That's when I first met Ms. Heard.
We talked about books and music, poetry. We liked a lot of the same stuff. I was so surprised that somebody, I'm a no-name actor. I was 22, I think, and he was twice my age, and he's this world-famous actor, and here we are getting along about old blues, and I thought it was unusual and remarkable. I left there just feeling like, wow.
I remember there was a scene where I was taking a shower, and then she comes into the room, and she opens the shower, and we kiss. It felt like something that I shouldn't be feeling.
There are certain things that you do in the job to be professional, like when you have to do that sort of scene, and you don't you don't use your tongue if you can avoid it. There's certain things that you do to just maintain a certain line, and it just felt like those lines were blurred. I mean, he grabbed my face and pulled me into him and really kissed me.
Did he use his tongue?
Yes.
That day after work, Mr. had come to my trailer.
He kind of playfully pushed me down this bed sofa that was in his trailer, just playful and flirtatious, and he said, yum.
Meeting an actress like Amber Heard, she's of another era, I mean, it's like walking into a room and meeting Veronica Lake or Betty Davis or, Lauren Bacall. I called her Slim, and she called me Steve.
What do you think you're gonna do?
I'm gonna get that wallet, Slim.
Steve, I wouldn't put it past you.
My God, when Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, that's when they met on that film. He was 45 years old and she was 19.
What'd you do that for?
Wondering if I like it?
What's the decision?
I like it.
They stayed together until Bogart passed away. So I acknowledge the fact that I was the old craggy bogey and she was this beautiful creature, this stunning creature.
It was a beautiful place, beautiful time, and I fell head over heels in love with this man.
She seemed to be the perfect partner, literate, sweet, funny. She was wonderful.
There wasn't any love like that, I mean, and then he would disappear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Darth News. This is going to be a day one recap. I was in the courtroom. I was sitting there live in person, so I'm just going to give you my firsthand account. I'm not a legal scholar. I'm not a lawyer. I do this for fun, but I have a dog in the fight because I actually give a fuck about Johnny Depp and men's rights.
Can you describe your relationship with Mr. Depp? Do you remember the first time that he physically hit you?
Yes.
Please tell the jury about it.
Oh, never forget it. It changed my life. I was sitting on the couch, and I asked him about the tattoo he has on his arm. I didn't know what it said. It just looked like muddled, faded tattoo that was hard to read.
Well, the tattoo, which used to say Winona Forever, who was a former girlfriend, Winona Ryder, and when we broke up, I took off the last two letters and had it say Wino Forever.
I didn't see that. I thought he was joking because it didn't look like it said that at all, and I laughed. And slapped me across the face. I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke, but he didn't. He said, "You think it's so funny? You think it's funny, bitch? You think you're a funny bitch?" And he slapped me again. Hard. I was just sitting there looking at the dirty carpet, wondering why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react, because God, did he just hit me?
Mr. Depp, what is your response to that?
It didn't happen. I've never struck Miss Heard.
I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up. I was heartbroken.
When I'm creating something new, I try to start with myself. Every project begins with a clear vision. When you believe in something, you can't help but share it with the world.
She's acting. She's lying.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Whitney Enriquez?
And you're Amber's sister?
I am.
Describe your relationship with Mr. Depp in the early stages.
We got along really well at first. He was sober at the time, and Johnny, when he's sober, is very bright and beautiful and lovely and kind and generous, and he was very easy to get to know, and frankly, we all fell in love with him at first. But very quickly, this pattern emerged as their relationship went on, that if Johnny was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight.
Johnny, when sober, was lovely and magical and very funny. Cocaine and any kind of alcohol would bring out a very, very ugly side of him. Very misogynistic and cruel.
He was almost unrecognizable when he was drinking and using to an excess. He would just get very angry and he would just say really horrible things about her.
He would weave these elaborate situations in which Amber was having affairs with every man that she ever worked with and every woman she ever came in contact with. He became very demeaning. You know, she has no talent, and when her tits start to sag and her face gets wrinkly, nobody's gonna be interested in her.
He called her a fucking used up trash bag, slimy whore, saggy whore. You know, fucking cunt was thrown out a bunch. Just horrible things like that.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
Nothing happened this morning, you know that? All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? Don't get fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going? Oh, really? Really?
So she's trying to record him without him even knowing that.
Why did you videotape this, Amber?
Yeah, good question.
Because I knew he wouldn't remember. Objection, my answer speculation. Sustained.
When somebody breaks something in anger in your presence, that is legally an act of abuse. And he's look at, I mean, he's kicking stuff, he's slamming stuff, he's breaking stuff. She's like, hey, what's going on? And here, I know he wasn't hitting her, but he was doing some very aggressive things and directly in her presence. And if she's coming in and saying like, well, hey, here's this confrontation that happened. I was intimidated by it. I felt this was an act of abuse. Then she can give her opinion that I was in an abusive relationship. I'm not, trying to defend her or say it, but I'm just saying, it's a huge problem for him.
Morning, Mr. Depp.
Morning, Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Depp, we've talked about this a little bit, but you testified that abuse can come in many forms, correct? Physical being one of them.
Indeed.
Verbal.
Indeed.
Psychological abuse.
Indeed.
And you would agree that you were violent in that clip, correct?
Clearly I was having a bad time. I thought what was most interesting is that she tried to hide it from me and then that she laughed and smiled at the end. I thought that was the most interesting part myself. But so yes, I did assault a couple of cabins, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
And
as you can see, I think,
And you may have been drunk in that video, correct?
there's a possibility of that, yes, sir.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Wait for it. You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
ジョニー・デップに悪い噂は全く聞かないけどね。本当に最低な女よね。
I poured myself a large glass of wine. A mega pint.
The lawyer conducting Johnny Depp's cross-examination said he saw you pour a sort of, Johnny Depp says, a mega pint. The lawyer says a mega pint of red wine, which is not everybody's choice for breakfast, is it?
A mega pint.
All she needs to prove is that he abused her. I say all, but either she's making everything up or there's been abuse. It's not only social media, but when his SUV pulls up in court, no matter what Amber Heard alleges, there's a crowd out there who are just gobsmacked by Johnny Depp.
Remember, none of us were there. With us, who do we believe? But never ever forget, we were not there. Good morning, Mr. Depp.
Good morning.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to discuss April 2016 now.
We'll take a look at this gem in the historic core of downtown LA. This is the Eastern Columbia building, one of the most prestigious places to live in downtown Los Angeles. Johnny Depp owned 5 penthouses here. This Art Deco gem at the corner of Broadway.
ジョニーでも本
My
当にいい
birthday
人
was
だ
coming
から
up. We had
ね。
a dinner planned at our penthouse. He told me at some point that day that he had scheduled a business meeting or a money meeting, I think he said, maybe.
I was about an hour and 40 minutes late, maybe, something like that.
Mr. Depp, when you arrived at the party, how did Miss Heard greet you, if at all?
Very cold.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp was late to
め
your
っちゃい
birthday
い
dinner,
人だ
wasn't
よ
it?
ね、ジョニー。
Yeah, it did matter to me. I was hurt.
She squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom.
I remember blocking the door, blocking me to get out, kind of shoving me down in We had a verbal argument, and then that became a shoving match. I tried to shove him back.
And I said, go ahead, hit me.
Bam.
And I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another?
I want to hug this man.
That's the second one. I said, good, now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone.
Johnny wrestled me down on the bed. I remember I got up once or twice before I ended up on the bed, and he grabbed me, did this thing that he did sometimes, he taught me, grabbed me by the pubic bone, just pushed me down, held me down by it, and kind of pulled me into it, and was taunting me, asking me if I thought I was so fucking tough. You're such a fucking tough guy, huh? You're so tough now, look who's so tough. You want to be a man?
I went, I grabbed a few things, and I got out immediately, and I went to my other house.
He's saying, we're fucking done here. We're divorcing. It's over. And then at 4:30 a.m. on April 22nd, which is Amber's birthday, he left Amber. Yes, he leaves Amber, like, for good, quote unquote, on her birthday. What a savage.
My friends, this is the patriarchy at work. Heard's being called a whore, a gold digger, a crazy bitch, a manipulative, a monster. He's being given empathy and forgiveness for his transgressions in a way Heard is not. It's victim blaming at its finest. This is why people don't report abuse.
So far, who do you believe in this story here?
I believe both of them. Okay. They're on the stand. They're under oath.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to lie. If they get caught in a lie, that's big trouble. In terms of it being public, well, that's showbiz, isn't it?
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You featured in that video driving.
That's correct.
I had gone to one of my security team and said, she's in Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know? And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
Boop! Say it! Boop!
It was a photograph of the bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter.
He knows how fucking stupid it is.
My initial response to that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy onto the bed. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh.
If you raise your right hand for me, do you swear affirm to tell the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Jenkins, do you know the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
Were you also going to Coachella with Miss Heard?
Yes, I was. I was the transportation for Amber and her friends while she was at Coachella.
And did you have any discussions with Miss Heard on the way to Coachella that evening?
We had a conversation pertaining to the surprise she left in the boss's bed prior to leaving the apartment.
And what did Miss Heard say about the defecation in Mr. Depp's bed?
A horrible practical joke gone wrong.
Did you commit any kind of prank?
Absolutely not. First of all, I don't think that's funny. Period. That's disgusting.
And she tried to blame it on the dogs.
What, if any, issues did Boo have with
They're disparaging the
bathroom
dog.
problems, if you will?
Johnny's dog, at the time, Boo, she had eaten Johnny's weed when she was a puppy and had bowel control issues.
Why didn't you think it could have been the dogs?
They're teacup Yorkies. They weigh about 4 pounds each. It was clear that did not come from a dog.
That's probably one of the first times that he really realized the depths of how fucking insane that she was.
It was shared on the record that Depp sent this text, quote, "Will you squat in front of the door of the master bedroom and leave a giant coil of dookie so that Amber steps in it and thinks that one of the dogs, primarily Boo, has a major problem? It'll be funny." On the 29th of October, 2014, Miss Heard wrote in a text message to Kevin Murphy that, quote, "Last night she, as in Boo, shit on Johnny while he was sleeping, like all over him, not exaggerating." Again, public record.
Mr. Depp, why did you go over to the penthouses on May 21st, 2016?
Miss Heard requested that I come over to have a talk. I went over there with my security team, Jerry Judge and Sean Bett, just in case anything went down.
Good morning, Mr. Bett.
Good morning.
Do you see this on your screen, Mr. Bett?
I do.
That's you in that black and white shirt, right?
That's me.
That's Mr. Depp in the hat, and that's Mr. Judge to his left?
Correct.
This video is when you're entering the Eastern Columbia building to take him to Penthouse 3, correct?
That's correct.
Johnny and I had not seen each other for the better part of a month. I mean, I could tell he was inebriated, but it was peaceful. And then he starts talking about the feces again and this prank that he said one of my friends had left for him in my bed. Our marriage was falling apart in front of our eyes. We hadn't seen each other for a month, and I couldn't believe he wanted to talk about feces. So I call this friend thinking that we'll take care of it, and I say,
Tell us who that person is.
Io.
She put me on speakerphone. She said, Johnny thinks that you and I together defecated on his pillow. So I started laughing, and he got very agitated by the fact that she and I thought it was funny. And when I realized that he was serious, I was like, okay, look, first of all, I wasn't there that day.
It just made Johnny madder. He got more upset, grabbed the phone, and started screaming expletives, insulting names.
And I said to Io, you can have her now. She's yours. She's all yours. Right?
He tosses the phone, down on the couch and heads upstairs. I pick up the phone. Io said, Amber, get out of the house. Get out of the house now. You're not safe. Johnny came bolting down the stairs, grabbed the phone from my hand, just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
I was by the refrigerator at this point. I was 20 feet away.
Where was Miss Heard at that time?
She was still sitting on the couch.
He comes over to me as I'm crying. He says, oh yeah, I hit you, huh? What if I pull your hair back? What if I pull your hair back?
He said to her, oh, you think I hit you? You think I fucking hit you? What if I peel your fucking hair back? And then I heard the phone drop again, and then I heard her scream.
She still got Io on the phone. And that's when the screaming
まあ映画かどうかじゃない。
Stop hitting me,
ジョー・ロー
Johnny.
ガン
She
みたいに
screamed
絶対な。
in her fist. Freaked out, upset voice, high pitched.
We could hear the screaming and shouting from Miss Heard, so I immediately opened up the door, and Mr. Judge and I ran in there.
The next thing I hear is, boss. And I realize his 2 security guards had come into the apartment.
She had this look of surprise on her face, and then she looked at Mr. Depp and us, and she shouted out loud, this is the last time you do this to me.
That's the last time you'll ever hit me. That's the last time you'll ever do that to me. And again, I'm a good 20 feet away by the fridge.
At which point Mr. Depp looked at her and said, what the hell are you talking about?
I remember her screaming. And I hung up the phone, and I called 911.
What are you doing? We're just coming in to say. We just to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we.
Why didn't you want to cooperate with the police?
Because I wanted to protect Johnny. I didn't want him to be arrested.
Amber? Okay. Johnny is definitely not here. Not here? Everything all good then? All right.
My best friend took pictures of me. This is my face after the phone incident.
Did you have a clear view of Miss Heard?
I did.
Did you have a clear view of her face?
I did.
Did you observe any injuries on Miss Heard's face?
None.
Johnny Depp's soon-to-be ex-wife has received a domestic violence restraining order against the movie star. Amber Heard presented this photograph in court as evidence of the alleged domestic violence.
Hey, Amber.
Amber, did Johnny give you that bruise on your face?
Did Johnny beat you up?
I saw that she had gone to a court and there were paparazzi everywhere and her and a mark on her face.
Have you ever been accused of physically abusing a woman before this point?
No.
Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know.
Oh, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby. You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up, Johnny.
Physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
You did, so I had
because,
to fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You're admirable.
The fact that she's on tape admitting to hitting Johnny Depp, for her to have written this op-ed for the Washington Post and essentially propped herself up as a figurehead in the Me Too movement. So to speak. Yeah, I think you just feel really betrayed.
It's so triggering to so many people. As a victim and a survivor of domestic violence, even though it's sexist, you do want to kind of back the female. But so far, I feel like she was more the aggressor.
Look, they can both be wrong. Amber can be awful. You can totally believe that, but we can't use that as a reason for Johnny Depp to be absolved of the clearly awful things that he has done.
Cross-examination?
Cross-examination. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Miss Heard.
Good afternoon. Starting out respectful.
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
No, he has not.
Not that I've noticed, no.
Yeah,
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at
半導体にそうしないよ。
you, don't you?
I do.
だってそれはシリコンバレーも半導体だからさ。
was when you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016.
絶対使うから、
obtained
それは
domestic
半導
violence
体だ
restraining
け
order
ど。
against him.
電気か、
Oh, right into
イン
audio.
フラ鉄道とかは絶対使うけど、半導体は絶対使うプロダクトだよ。
Really, after all the shit you just said? After all the shit
あとはゲームとかで趣味品するんじゃない？ここが勝ってるから。
Now, let's see each other. Get on your neck. Don't take my fucking glasses off. You will not see my eyes again.
絶対そういう感じではないし、なんか使われる感じがしない。もう1ミリもない。
Kept that promise, hasn't he? As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
本当になんか
He won't look at
ず
you,
れ
right?
てる。なんかガラパゴスだから。
Let's display
It's good,
exhibit
man.
357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor.
昔も動画でね、ギャオとかさ、今のユーセンが UNEXT でギャオ作って僕結構見てたけど、
That's your
こ
voice
れ
in
は
that
使わ
recording,
れねえ
right?
だろうっ
Yes,
て
it
感
is.
じが。
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I thought it would be crazy for him to do so.
日本人の当たり前が全然当たり前じゃないから、説明もされてない。ドンと提示されてるけど。
I'm a victim too of domestic violence.
I said yes.
で変わったこうすごい競争の中で
Mr. Depp is your victim,
め
isn't
ちゃく
he?
ちゃ面白いものがある。漫画、アニメ、ゲームがまたエン
And
タ
once
メ
he。left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
This is a battle of optics. This is not so much about the legal merits, but rather what the public perception is.
If you just look at public opinion, no one really believes Amber Heard.
I don't buy it for it. Do you buy this?
The hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp has more than 4 billion views on TikTok. It seems the internet has made up its mind without this court case even coming to a close.
What did you say in response when Miss Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I said yes. I am.
Yeah, Amber's fucked.
Welcome back. Johnny Depp's defamation trial against his ex-wife Amber Heard is playing out in real time on television and on social media, where millions are poring over the shocking details and taking sides.
How are you feeling? My video about this pod episode is at almost 500,000 views. And I just posted it yesterday. It has many facets that we have to look at, including fame, the Me Too movement, cancel culture. It is just a sort of a perfect storm, if you will.
Number one, over Elon Musk, more than 4 times Joe Biden. His opinion, more than 5 times greater. The Ukraine war, more than 6 times greater. This story is the biggest story online in the nation.
News anchors lined up outside the courthouse, numerous cameras inside the courtroom live streaming every minute.
I'll take you a little tour of our mobile
That's right, we actually have heating and air conditioning sometimes in here.
People are live tweeting, people are live streaming. What does it all mean? Where does it end?
There's been a social media circus of commentary from creators and influencers and lay people who think that the truth was lost on social media quite some time ago.
Well, there are new concerns about the spread of misinformation on TikTok. According to researchers, American users spend 3 times as much time on TikTok than on Twitter. Explain for us more about the app's design and why it is particularly problematic.
You have a platform that uses short videos. It has a powerful and very mysterious recommendation algorithm. You've got 1 billion users that are constantly filtering through a very fast-moving feed. Videos can be very easily manipulated and republished.
I was walking out of the bedroom.
Slapped me across the face, and I said, Johnny, you hit me. You just hit me. There are parody videos that often get mistaken as fact. At this point, we're sitting next to each other.
People are obsessed with this case. And on TikTok, people could really broadcast their theories.
I was just sitting there on this carpet.
Especially when the case is live in court and you have all this footage. You could show them authentically what is going on. What are people posting?
Talk about Australia. I think this might decide the case because this is where the parties are alleging the most significant dispute, and they're in such contradiction that the jury can only think one of them is true. I think they're going to come to the conclusion that one of them is lying about Australia. Let's take a look about what they said happened.
I was just working on Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
Mr. Depp, was Miss Heard in Australia with you?
She came a little later, yes.
And what happened when Miss Heard came to visit you in Australia?
Thank you very much. Well, Johnny Depp is here. I haven't seen it, but I know it ahead of time, and now I see it that you're wearing you have an engagement ring.
I do. I have a female engagement ring.
Yeah, but you're getting married.
Well, so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not typical for a man to wear an engagement ring, is it?
No.
It was too big for my girl.
So the woman you're, who's been on the show, by the way?
Amber.
Oh, lovely.
Big smile, Amber.
I proposed to Miss Hurd a couple of years before, I believe. So we talk occasionally about when would be the right time between schedules so that we could actually have a wedding and a honeymoon and then go on to do the work in Australia.
I was marrying the love of my life. It was complicated, but it was the love of my life.
We all left for the island for the dream wedding, I guess.
We walked down to the beach aisle, said our vows, and shot the bird, meaning the middle finger, up at the paparazzi while we were on the altar. And we danced and celebrated. And then I left the island because I had to go work. Amber Heard is 20 years younger and was building a career and name recognition within Hollywood, but she was certainly nowhere near the star that Johnny Depp was.
Hi, we're here with Amber Heard. Explain quickly your character.
I play a young girl who's caught up in the fast-paced, decadent 1980s lifestyle of Los Angeles, and her she's a beautiful woman who ultimately that beauty causes her demise and the demise of other characters around her, and it's an interesting part. I took the bus around LA. It was before smartphones. I had a Thomas guide and a change of tank tops, and I just hustled from one audition to the other. It's been a slow progression, I guess, since then, of doing either tiny bit parts in bigger movies or doing larger roles in movies that no one would see. And I guess, it still is kind of like that.
When you say you left the island and you had to go to work, what were you working on?
I was filming The Danish Girl in London. I was there doing kind of prep work for that film.
I was going off to Australia.
Gentlemen.
The plan was always for me to wrap on my movie and then come and join him in Australia, where he was filming Pirates 5.
Okay, and when approximately was that?
That was March 3rd.
Guys, I am shocked at the massive amounts of love and support you guys have been showing this channel, and specifically our coverage of the Justice for Johnny Depp movement.
Welcome back to another episode of Darth News, special edition. Everybody loves Johnny. Actually, subscribe to that. Everybody hates Amber.
You have creators on platforms like YouTube. All of a sudden, they're pumping out videos about this trial.
If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts.
I think everybody was waiting to see the evidence. That's what I was.
For those of you who don't know, Super Chats is a way on YouTube for people watching someone streaming to donate.
Hello, thank you for watching the 100 gift community subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It allows their comment to go to the top. It kind of highlights that person and their donation.
Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. We are here to call to order the case of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Today, we are watching through live testimony of what happened in Australia.
Now, I'm going to ask you to take this jury through what happened once you arrived there.
I flew in, I read early. I walked into the bedroom. I was so excited to see him. I was looking forward to having this kind of, our style at-home date. We're a married couple. We hadn't seen each other for basically a month after being married. And I start dinner and am happy to see him. And at some point early in that evening, he pulls out a bag of MDMA. I asked him what it was, and he told me it was MDMA. And I was surprised because at the time, he'd already gotten clean and sober. I was for the wedding. So I was surprised that he would even pull out this bag. And he kind of seemed to suggest that we should do it together. And I was like, absolutely not. I just got here. I want to see you. I want to spend time with you.
Ms. Hurd was upset because, as it was too late for a prenup agreement, there was a discussion of post-nup agreement. She could not let go of the fact that I was in on this post-nup agreement and that I was trying to trick her into essentially getting nothing if something were to happen. She's telling me, you don't trust me, and all I could do was try to calm her down.
Did that work?
It did not work, no. It escalated and it turned into madness, chaos, violence.
Can you please describe that chaos and violence?
What more? Who you are? How you talk to me that make me feel sick. Of myself.
Why were you at the house that Sunday?
I was called to the house by one of Mr. Depp's assistants.
And did you observe anything when you went into the house?
Yeah, initially I heard pretty hysterical sobbing, crying, which sounded like Miss Heard to me. Just crying uncontrollably, I think it's fair to say. There's a bit of damage down the steps. The big chunk had been taken out of the marble staircase. Walking down into the bar, I could see the damage. A broken ping pong table sort of collapsed onto the floor. Lots of glass and cans strewn around the bar area.
Apparently Hulk came through.
Broken glass is consistent with his version.
Who was there when you arrived?
Debbie Lloyd was there.
11:30, you wrote, MD received a text message from client that he'd been arguing with wife and that he had cut his finger. According to patient, his assistant and security were on their way to pick him up. You wrote that?
According to my notes, yes.
David Kipper was there.
I went in to instruct one of the people with him to look for the tip of the finger, hoping that we would be able to put it back.
It was pretty extensive, all that broken glass, the blood. There were a lot of blood drips across that floor. It was a kind of cream-coloured tiled floor. On the next floor, on the main floor, there was a sitting room with a couch on a cream-coloured couch, which had a fair amount of blood drips on the cushions. And we'd set up an art studio, so a lot of the art materials from that, paintbrushes, paint, a lot of paint on the floor. Going into the master bathroom, there was a his and hers sinks and a large mirror above each of the sinks that had writing on each of them. Both of the bedrooms, I think, had blood on the duvet covers. That's about the extent of it.
Oh, is that all?
Whose job was it to clean all that up?
That was mine. That was mine.
Well, I'll just cut to the chase. I think that I ended up locking myself in about at least 9 bedrooms, bathrooms that day. As she was banging on the doors and screaming obscenities and wanting to have a physical altercation.
So how did it come to be that your finger became injured?
I left the place, the room that I was hiding in, or not hiding, locked myself into, and I went downstairs and there was a bar. So I grabbed a bottle of vodka that was there, a shot glass, and sat at the bar. She was nowhere around. Poured myself 2 or 3 stiff shots of the vodka. First taste of alcohol I'd had in a long time. And then she came down to the bar and found me there. And of course started screaming, "Oh, you're drinking again, the monster," and all that.
You can see how he feels about that.
He holds up this bottle and comes gesturing with the bottle towards me. And I reach for it, he revoke it, kind of laugh at me. And he's holding out the bottle, I think like maybe the 3rd time or so I get a hold of it. I pick it up and I slam it down on the ground in between us. And I smash the bottle on the floor. And that really set him off.
She grabbed the bottle of vodka and then just kind of stood back and then hurled it at me. Takes the second bottle, which is the larger one. She threw the large bottle and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
What is this, a picture of Mr. Death?
The remains of my finger.
I honestly don't remember if I threw anything in his direction. I don't think I did. I just remember him having me by the nightgown. I remember him flailing me, throwing me around. I'm flailing. I remember at one point he's teasing me, taunting me that he has my breast in his hand. My nightgown came completely off. It was ripped off of me. So I was naked. And I'm slipping around on his tile. And at some point, he's on top of me. I'm on the countertop. They have me by the neck. And I'm looking at him in his eyes. And I don't see him anymore. I don't see him anymore. It wasn't him. It was black. I've never been so scared in my life. It was black. I couldn't see him. And my head was bashing against the back of the bar, and I couldn't breathe.
This is a lot.
And I remember trying to get up, and I was slipping on the glass, and my feet were slipping, my arms were slipping on the countertop, and I remember just trying to get up so I could breathe, so I could tell him that he was really hurting me. I didn't think he knew what he was doing. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. I don't know. I don't want to do this.
Amber Heard has said on the stand she doesn't have a clear recollection of how things unfolded, but she has alleged that he sexually assaulted her with a bottle.
There were a couple of points in the trial that should have never come out so publicly.
It's so hard to assess the credibility of either Johnny Depp or Amber Heard for one simple reason. They're both actors. They are both good at getting people to feel the way that they want them to feel.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and I'm not going to lie, today was rough. I'm feeling bad for all the survivors out there that just watched this performance because I'm not buying it, and I've gotten so many messages from so many of you who have been through similar experiences, and you're not buying it either.
Like he was on top of me, and I'm looking at in his eyes. I don't see him anymore. I don't see him anymore.
Ligature marks and finger marks and bruising is very, very common. And I'm sorry that was your experience. But thank you for sharing your experience with the chat. So they're like, look, these are the things we find confusing.
Amber Heard as a psychopath is currently trending on Twitter. So,
if you are mentally and physically abused, like a person of domestic violence, male or female, would you be able to go to court, get on the stand, and be a Larry, smarmy bitch? Has anyone seen Gone Girl?
Wait for your clueless husband to start his day. Meticulously stage your crime scene.
It's fake. It is so fake. Like, how can you make such a mockery? I don't know what she's doing.
Sexual penetration with an object is really severe, and unlike the rest of what you said about Johnny Depp, almost requires some sort of sadistic nature. So I think Australia, his story is more believable.
This has moved away from like a news story or a lawsuit, and it's transformed into a cultural moment. And I wasn't old enough to experience the impact of the O.J. Simpson trial, but if I had to guess, the chokehold that this lawsuit has on the world, it's comparable. And also the ways in which information and news are spread is very different today than it was before. O.J. TikTok would have been, oh my gosh, yes.
Truly wild.
Truly wild.
Social media is clearly playing a role in this case. I cannot tell you how much time I spend dealing with folks on social media, and I'll tell you what, the Johnny Depp folks are fanatics.
And while working for TMZ, were you involved in any assignments related to Ms. Heard?
I was. On the 12th, we received a video depicting Johnny Depp slamming some cabinets that was captured by Ms. Heard.
How does that video that was played in this trial compared to the one you received on August 12, 2016?
It was much shorter than the video we received, than the video that's been played in this trial. There was a bit at the beginning that was played here, which Ms. Heard is seemingly sort of sitting at the camera and getting in a position. And then there's a bit at the end where she's seemingly sniggering and looks at the camera. That part was not present in what we received.
Did TMZ edit the video?
No, not even a little.
Nothing further on cross-examination? Yes. So, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame. Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
I can ask that question. So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. So you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
The issue when you go in court and you testify and when there's evidence brought, it's quite literally airing your dirty laundry. That's why celebrities always settle cases. They never want to go into court for that very reason.
Could they not have figured this out privately?
I think, and we've talked about this before on the show, I think that making it accessible to the public was a strategy, I think probably brought to the table by Johnny's team.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. With this Depp Heard trial, the engagement is phenomenal. I mean, it's just so cool to see everyone get involved and want to know about the legal process and the laws that are involved. But that's the thing is about justice, is that it's not about the truth. It's not about right or wrong. Unfortunately, it's about what the judge or jury believes. And that's on the information that's presented. And that's why trials are theater. It's supposed to be the search for the truth, but it's really about us orchestrating what witnesses we're going to bring in, the order of proof that we're going to present this story, and how we're going to do it, what we're going to keep in, what we're going to keep out.
This is Law Disrupted, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Camille Vasquez.
Johnny's testimony was a key point for us. It was the first time that the world, really the jury, right, and in this case, the jury got to hear from him in his own words. We needed to give him the opportunity to speak and speak freely. We introduced the jury to Johnny Depp and who the real Johnny Depp was. So we introduced the jury to his sister, who was able to give a background about who the little boy was before he became Johnny Depp and who the man is now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, your first witness.
Mr. Brusky, would you please tell the jurors what your relationship with Johnny was like when you were growing up?
Johnny and I were very close. We were just friends. We were like best friends.
Mr. Brusky, how would you describe your parents' relationship?
That was complicated.
I had a very interesting childhood, one that I thought was normal until a certain age.
Could you please tell them about your history of substance use?
At about the age of, 4 or 5 years old, I can remember vividly my mom telling me to go get her nerve pills, out of her purse that was hanging on the back of the door. So I'd go get the nerve pills and I'd take it. And, after a few years, you start to notice, you start to think about nerve pills. And then she seemed to calm down after she took those nerve pills. So when I was 11 years old, I wanted to calm down. I'd bring my mom her nerve pill, I would walk away, and I would take one myself to escape the chaotic nature of what we were living through. My mother was quite unpredictable, and she was quite violent. And physical pain, you learn to deal with, you learn to accept it. But the psychological and emotional abuse, that's what kind of tore us up, I think.
Mr. Depp, is there any substance that you've ever been addicted to?
Yes.
And what is that?
Roxycodone.
So far, everybody's just been making these speculations based off of whatever they're reading. We haven't heard it out of the horse's mouth until now. And now that we have, or started to hear about these things, it only makes him seem like a more honest human being, a more likable person.
The pills that I was addicted to, the Roxycodone, which are very, very powerful opiates, 2 of those would knock me out. You go on what's called the nod, and then it takes you away into sleep. It's just very deep sleep.
We see Johnny Depp very open about his drug use that I think the other side was going to try to use against him. But he knew he's going to admit to it. His friends admitted to it. And they kind of, took the sting out of it from the other side. Nothing really happened with it anymore, right? Once you admit it, they can't really do anything with it. There's no movement.
This is a picture of you on a black leather couch, passed out, correct?
Passed out's an interesting way of putting it. Maybe asleep.
That's ice cream on your lap, correct?
It is indeed. Miss Heard asked me to hold the ice cream as she noticed that I was on the nod. That means falling asleep from the 17-hour day that I'd worked and also the opiates that I'd ingested. And that was a wonderful picture to take for her.
Sure.
I don't know why she took it.
Well, so it's Miss Heard's fault that that picture was taken. Is that what you're saying?
She snapped it.
Interesting to see how the jury interpret this information. Will they interpret it as Miss Heard wants as evidence of Johnny having a dark side? Will they interpret it as evidence, as Johnny says, of a girlfriend setting up a partner to look like a bad guy? Follow me from a legal TikTok.
You took this photograph, right, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island on vacation.
We were on vacation, yes.
We also took this picture, right, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs. Didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him. This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
You did, in fact, send this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp?
That is me getting support from my best friend.
This is you supporting Mr. Depp?
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
My God,
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in you, Andy.
I'm so sorry, guys. The truth is there.
Upsetting.
I'm a monster. I must be a monster because I passed out on my bed last night and Johnny took a photo and now it's over. Can you guys friggin' believe this was put into evidence? He's taking a friggin' nap on vacation. Like, what the frick is this photo?
There is a money aspect to this too. Yeah. Social media now, influencers, you study this for a living. I don't have to tell you, they make money sometimes for posting content. How is that playing into this particular moment?
Become a member today. Hit that join button. You'll be supporting the channel.
We would love it if you could hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm gods.
You need to make sure the next thing you do, no matter what, smash the hell out of that subscribe button.
We have creators on platforms like YouTube who previously were getting hundreds of views on videos about anything, ranging from video games to music to art. All of a sudden, they're pumping out videos about this trial.
I'm subscribed to some of you, and it's cool to be on stream.
Videos that make Johnny Depp look good and make Amber Heard look bad because those are the only ones that people want to see. And they're being able to make money for the first time ever. They're getting viral videos off of this case, getting millions of views.
Y'all got wild. And I appreciate it. This is the road that we're on. Thank you so much. It's kind of fun to just watch the numbers spiral, and I appreciate it. This is a wild growth chart.
You keep saying it's glorifying Johnny Depp, but that is the dominant stream, right?
Oh, yes.
It's not the other way.
Up until recently, you really couldn't find any TikToks in support of Amber Heard. The entire platform was pro Johnny Depp. And I've heard from those creators themselves that if someone comments and says that they have a neutral position or they think that maybe Amber is a victim, they immediately get dogpiled, harassed, abused themselves in these comment sections, and no one wants to speak up in support of Amber Heard.
And as this high-profile trial plays out in court, social media users are sort of rallying around Johnny Depp, as Steve alluded to. They're looking for holes in the defense's case, and they think that they found one.
This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. This was what she used. She became very adept about how she had to mix the different colors for the different days of the bruises to be able to cover those.
So Milani Cosmetics is the company that is sort of jumping into the fray in this case. They said that their color correcting compact, it's a compact that came out in 2017. It was the same compact that defense attorneys used to say that Amber Heard used this specific kit to cover up bruises she allegedly received from Johnny Depp. Now, Milani jumped into the fray by posting a TikTok saying, actually, this
came out in 2017. Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp in 2016. There's no way that she used this specific hit in order to cover alleged bruises.
There's one thing you can expect from me, and that's the unexpected. 'Cause I'm an international super spy. Super spy!
This was just an example of something that she used. This is not the actual compact that she used, but many people took the TikTok that Melania Cosmetics posted and said, hey, this is definitive proof that Amber Heard's attorneys are lying.
Amber Heard just got exposed in another big lie from her court case with Johnny Depp.
She said that Amber carried that in her purse to cover the bruises through her entire relationship. Well, that palette didn't come out until after the divorce.
Meaning this makeup palette did not exist when they were together. Boom! And the truth will set you free.
The TikTok has been viewed more than 5 million times.
All right, so I'm here at the Fairfax County Courthouse.
It has caused real-world consequences. We saw one user actually go to the courthouse,
All right, going to the judge's chamber.
and speak out Johnny Depp's lawyers and attorneys and say, hey, I have evidence for you that you need to see. Some people are actually criticizing the cosmetics company for jumping into the fray, saying, hey, you did this for clout. Like, there was no reason for you to jump in here.
I think a lot of people are this room, which is I just took Amber Heard's accusations at face value. I wanted to believe her. Like this makeup kit would suggest that maybe she's not completely truthful.
People obviously have their opinions. This is a celebrity case. Johnny Depp is clearly winning right now in the court of public opinion.
Amber Heard or Johnny Depp? Come on, you gotta answer. Do you believe Johnny or do you believe Amber? And it's ultimately what this case comes down to, because they can't both be right. One is lying. Who do you believe? Well, that depends probably a lot on your biases. And if you're inclined to believe Johnny, you just identify with him, then everything he says is going to be believed. The negative things that are brought out on cross are going to be discounted and explained. Well, maybe he didn't send that text message. The drug stuff, sure, that doesn't matter. See, we minimize, we excuse because that's our favorite party. And then for Amber, it's like everything out there negative about her, we seize on, of course, because that validates our belief.
We are watching the final stretch of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in their dueling defamation trial playing out in Virginia. Amber Heard, she is on the stand, really pushing back on the cross-examination. You're seeing a little bit of a difference in the way Amber Heard is answering Camille Vasquez, and Camille Vasquez is being extremely aggressive with her. Let's go back in the moment where we left off.
You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had, I believe I said I donated it to charity.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If you could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program.
It was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform. And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never heard.
I wanted nothing.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total. I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the settlement, $7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
That's not my question. Please,
What was
try to
your
answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
But that's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. So as of today, you have not donated $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
Amber is literally trying to convince the jury. She keeps looking at the jury. She is trying to sell this story that she donated the whole $7 million that she got from her divorce because she pledged it.
Amber is very articulate. She's very smart. But yes, she does look at the jury, which is a little bit weird when she's addressing her comments.
She may be looking at that jury more than any other witness has in the past during this trial because she wants to keep their attention.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it. I left Johnny, that's why I was with him.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name. And at the time, I was being called a liar, and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable.
You wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence.
I actually never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
What's the big deal with Amber Heard and these donations?
Amber Heard exposed herself yet again, and it might have just cost her the entire trial. And Pinocchio might have to sue her for identity theft because these lies are getting out of hand.
You pay donations for pledging them? No, you give donations by giving them money, not by saying you're going to give them money.
She doesn't know the difference between donate and pledge.
Right.
I think I'm going to Amber Heard it. Pledge $10-12 million to a great organization. And since pledge and donate is synonymous, we're all good.
Already in the court of opinion. Whatever this jury comes out to, he's won, and he needed the court process to extract evidence and statements from Amber.
And that leaves us to the real question, which is, what is the actual truth? Where does that come from? That's the jury's job.
I want to know how they picked the jury for this. I was thinking about that too. I was like, this has got to be, I'm assuming the jury's sequestered away. This is a big, sequestered away from where?
Philip, let me start with you. How important do you think social media is and what's going on out there in the social media universe to this case?
All that really matters is that you have a jury of 7 who does not go on social media and is going to assess what went down based purely on what is presented in court and not what is, on TikTok or in Instagram posts or on Facebook, etc.
They've been able to interact with friends, family, and so while they're not supposed to engage in social media and know what's going on in the public sphere, it's kind of tough to say that no one on that jury has been exposed to whatsoever. So I do think that's a concern, and the impact of the crowd cannot be overlooked in that courtroom every day.
トヨタも君ら本当に嫌われてるからね。ゴキブリと一緒だからね。答えないよ。だから早く当最後食べなさいよ。もう遅いからさ、今から読売朝日になろうと遅いからさ。もうとっくに遅いけど、まあやったらいいんじゃない？まだサラリーマンの給料ぐらいはペイできんじゃない？不動産以外に。もうとっくに時代遅れだからなんか自分たちが覇権を握ってると思えるんだね。その考え方がすごいよね、新聞記者ってね。なんか新聞記者だけさ、やっぱなんか街で出会うとうわーって関わりたくないやつらだから。そうなんだよね。永田町にいてプレイヤーになって。鍋つねみたいにプチ鍋つねの鍋つねは鍋つねですごいよ。鍋つね以外はすごくはないから。
I just don't know what to make of this case. I seem to spend half my life listening to these two in courtrooms.
It's hard to understand why someone that's supposed to love you could be that cruel.
He just kicked me in the back.
I don't know who to believe.
It didn't happen.
I don't know how much of it is true. They're two actors. You can really just feel how much of a psychopath this woman is.
Jury deliberations are underway in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial.
I've never been this nervous for a verdict before.
Why are we all so fascinated with this case? Because they're famous, because of the details, because of the
Jury trials are supposed to focus on law and facts.
A jury hears what knitted into evidence.
I was here anymore. What? That's a baby. You got the wrong girl.
What did the jury see?
45 documents were unsealed by Judge Penny. This is so wild.
What wasn't allowed during the course of this trial?
I have a feeling we will see each other again.
right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. All right, your next witness.
Your Honor, defendant calls Amber Heard.
Just a reminder, Ms. Heard, you're still under oath, okay? Of course, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you. All right, your question.
How have you suffered publicly?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. I am harassed. Humiliated.
I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet.
Threatened every single day. People want to kill me. People want to put my baby in the microwave. They tell me that.
What has it been like for you to listen to Ms. Heard's testimony at this trial?
It's insane to hear heinous accusations of violence, sexual violence, that she's attributed to me, that she's accused me of.
This is horrible. This is painful. This is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that I'm a human being.
Brutal, cruel, and all false. All false.
I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone.
I just find the whole thing uncomfortable to watch. I haven't plugged into it at all, but I don't really want to see such intimate detail.
It's dirty laundry, isn't it?
Yeah. And these are really serious allegations here, but it has become kind of dramatized, before our very eyes.
The jury has a very, very tough job here, trying to decide who the abuser is, who the victim is. I mean, it's really a wild trial here. It's not just about defamation anymore. They really have a big, difficult job here.
There is only one person to have ever witnessed Johnny be physically violent with Amber, and it's her little sister, Whitney Heard.
Today we'll be digging into all the nitty-gritty of the staircase incident with Johnny, Amber, and her sister Whitney.
This happened about a week after the Australia incident.
I believe that this is from what's been called the staircase incident.
I woke up to Amber in my bedroom saying, "Can you believe he's cheating on me?" Went down there to talk to him, and I can tell he's clearly drunk. I found his iPad open. He was texting someone. He was texting this woman that he had had a sexual relationship with. I saw it. He had gone to her house after we got married. Unbelievably painful. Unbelievably painful.
Do you recall what Ms. Heard was upset about at this time?
I do not. I really don't.
Amber and I are on the little mezzanine. The kitchen's down here and the mezzanine's up here. He's calling her a fucking whore, fucking cunt, used up, trash bag, whatever. They were saying horrible things to one another. She was calling him old and fat. He bolted up the stairs.
Whitney, her sister, was there, who stepped in the way.
He comes up behind me, strikes me in the back, kind of just somewhere over here. He strikes me in the back. I hear Amber shout, "Don't hit my fucking sister."
Amber snuck in she reached, got the roundhouse in and nailed me on the cheekbone.
By that time, Johnny had already grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other as I was standing there.
It is the only instance where a witness, Amber's sister, is claiming to have actually witnessed first-hand assault alleged against Johnny Depp.
Grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other. I don't hesitate, I don't wait, I just in my head instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs.
Amber Heard in her direct testimony mentioned Kate Moss. One interesting thing that's happened that now the internet's going crazy over is he turned and gave did a fist pump, right, to his co-counsel.
There's a concept in trial law called opening the door. Maybe there's something we both agree is irrelevant, but on my side of things, it would help me and help my case. But I know I can't bring it up because the judge says it's irrelevant or it's too prejudicial or whatever.
I'll say that. Kate Moss and the stairs.
Johnny Depp picked up on it first, actually. He smiled I can't believe she just said that because it opened the door.
Yeah.
Kate Moss was not going to testify.
This was a real pivotal moment because this allowed both Ben Shu and Camille Vasquez to say that there are no other victims here, right?
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney, and I'd heard a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
If Kate Moss were to come in and say, "No, Johnny was never physically abusive or anything to me," then that would be a really big detrimental thing to Amber's case.
Jurors are told it's your job to evaluate credibility. And, if you find someone is lying on one issue, you can conclude they're liars in general.
I know the truth about Johnny.
The relationship between Johnny Depp and Kate Moss. A lot of people in the media back then when they were dating, it was looked at as somewhat of a volatile relationship. Johnny Depp was arrested for trashing a hotel room.
I believe in fairness and justice. I believe in the truth.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see your next witness?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Depp calls Kate Moss to the stand.
Thank you, ma'am. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you.
For how long, Ms. Moss, were you and Mr. Depp a romantic couple?
1994 to 1998.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room, and as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Thank you, Ms. Moss.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
These jurors are supposed to be listening to every single word of everything that's going on. The problem is, they might stop listening to you because at that moment, they no longer find you credible. That moment was very damaging for Amber Heard. Don't know what the jury is thinking, but if it's a credibility game, which it is, they may have tuned out to the rest of her case because of that very moment.
This case rests on the sentence, the first sentence of that article. Yeah. I became the face of domestic violence, and the case really is, the lawyer's case is, we're going to prove that everything you said is not true.
All right, your next witness.
You're making this stuff up.
Could you state your full name for the record?
Shannon Curry.
What do you do for a living?
I am a clinical and forensic psychologist.
How did you get involved in this case?
I was asked by counsel for Mr. Depp to provide a psychological evaluation of Ms. Heard.
Were you ever asked to do a psychological evaluation of Mr. Depp?
No. During this trial, both sides have been using mental health and substance addiction as weapons against the other team. And what usually happens is the people bringing the case usually have a mental health expert diagnosing the opposing person with a bad mental health disorder. The results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. And then the person defending themselves in the trial will typically try to say, no, I don't have that bad diagnosis. I have something that evokes more pity from a jury and an audience, something like PTSD.
Okay, so I met with Ms. Heard for a total of about 29 hours. The main opinion is that Ms. Heard's report of intimate partner violence is consistent with what we know in the field about intimate partner violence, and that Ms. Heard demonstrated very clear psychological and traumatic effects.
And
did you arrive at any diagnostic conclusions?
Ms. Heard did not have PTSD, and there were also pretty significant indications that she was grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD.
We know that if somebody suffers childhood abuse as a child, they're much more likely then to be more vulnerable to getting PTSD. She was raised in a family of violence. She was physically abused by her father. She saw her father abuse her mother, and both her parents also struggled with substance abuse very significantly. So she had learned from a very early age how to caretake.
When it comes to histrionic, a lot of the key features are going to be drama, extreme discomfort with not being the center of attention, extreme efforts to be the center of attention. And when they feel that they're not the center of attention, you will see making up stories to try to get attention, often taking on a victim or princess role.
She learned that she could love someone who hurts her. She knew that people who hurt her also can love her.
It also represented the quick shifts you'll see between emotions. So she would suddenly be one way, and then she would become very animated. People who are observing them will feel like it's almost play acting.
It became about whether people thought she was lying, how Heard was acting on the stand, the way she looked shifty. As it sort of snowballed out of control, it became much less about an actual simple yes/no question. Can she call herself a victim of domestic abuse?
Let's go back to there was a plane incident where Depp allegedly kicked Amber Heard on a plane. I believe it was in 2015.
Like Heard got in a fight on an airplane.
So I'm going to take you to the Boston plane incident. The plan would go back to LA for his daughter's birthday, and I get on the plane, and
I just knew in every cell of my body something was wrong.
Just boil it down to that one incident. All the little details don't really have anything to do with proving whether a crime happened. The goal is to...
Good morning, Mr. Wyatt.
Morning.
Mr. Wyatt, was Mr. Depp consuming any alcohol on that flight?
Sure, yes.
Did he seem intoxicated?
Seem intoxicated? No, he seemed like Johnny. No, he seemed normal.
He reeks of weed and alcohol. I mean, his breath
smelled so bad.
Well, she was giving Johnny the cold shoulder, being quiet, and seemed pouty.
We had argued the night before. She was looking for a fight, and I had taken 2 of these opiates, these oxycodones.
He was mad at me for taking the job with James Franco.
He hated James Franco. So he is asking me about how the sex scene went, to asking me what James Franco had done in the scene. He's saying really disgusting things about my body, about how I liked it. He called me a slut in front of people.
To what extent were you able to see Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard?
I was able to see them very clearly.
Wasn't Mr. Depp saying pretty horrible things to Ms. Heard?
I don't recall that.
Like, get fucked on set, get fucked with fucking James fucking Franco? Did you hear that?
I don't recall.
Did you hear him say, at least you fucking liked it?
No.
Did you hear him say, I bet you slipped a tongue in there and you liked it?
No.
Did you hear him say, make references to Amber's pussy and asking her if her pussy was wet?
Your Honor, like a foundation
Oh.
harassment.
Did you hear any of that?
No, not that.
Okay.
I'll rule you, Jackson.
I, at some point in this, get up. I walk away from him. My back is turned to him, and I feel this boot in my back. It just kicked me in the back. I thought to myself, I don't know what to do. No one said anything. No one did anything. It was like you could hear a pin drop on that plane. You could feel the tension, but no one did anything. I felt so embarrassed that he could kick me to the ground in front of people.
To what extent, if any, did you observe Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard hit, kick, or throw anything at each other on the plane?
No, I don't recall that at all.
As he got worse, he demanded the oxygen tank from the flight attendants.
You shared an oxygen tank with Mr. Depp on that Boston plane, didn't you?
No.
He continued to drink and then eventually started howling animal with the door locked.
Mr. White, did you see Mr. Depp go to the back of the plane and pass out and moan loudly?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall that either?
No.
Okay. Did you leave the plane with Mr. Depp?
I went to my own home.
Okay, and what was Mr. Depp's state?
I don't recall.
You don't recall if... As you're sitting here today under oath, you honestly can't remember if Mr. Depp was passed out.
I don't know.
And Mr. Depp could have kicked Amber on that plane, right?
Not that I saw.
When you got off the plane from Boston, you knew Miss Heard was angry with you, didn't you?
She was always angry, yes.
And you asked Mr. Duders. He was your personal assistant. Mr. Duders was your personal assistant, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Duders was one of them, yes, sir.
Right, and it wasn't uncommon for you to ask Mr. Duders to communicate with Miss Heard on your behalf, correct?
It wasn't uncommon for any of them to communicate with Miss Heard on my behalf.
Duders never testified, so with Depp on the witness stand for the second time, here's what happened when Amber Heard's defense attorney tried to show texts from Depp's assistant to the jury.
Can you pull up Exhibit 229, please? Based on Mr. Depp's testimony, I'd ask him for the admission of Exhibit 229.
Your Honor, can we please approach?
Sure. Some people are saying in the chat, the Duders text, if that's what we're about to see, they're not going to look good for Johnny. Came up in the UK trial as well, about kicking Amber.
They didn't get that Duders stuff in.
Okay.
After that sidebar, attorney Ben Rottenborn moves on, and those texts stay out of evidence.
You know, there was so much evidence in this case. In the pretrial hearings, they have to, rule what is admissible, what isn't, just so that when we get to trial, we can speed things along, only have what's, essential for the trial, for the jurors to make up their mind.
Why would you want to exclude evidence? Because it hurts you, that's why.
Depp is a master actor, dude. He seduced all of us by barely moving.
It's your decision. I think Johnny Depp is a terrific actor. I also happen to think he's a violent lover.
He's a likable guy, other than these horrific allegations, right? Everybody loved him in the Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's a little bit of what's called a halo effect around him. But that's why these photos, the text, the testimony is so devastating, because it shatters that perception we have of Mr. Depp.
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
It's a strange question. Paul Bettany is a good friend. Yes.
The two of you shared an enjoyment of controlled drugs and alcohol at that time. Yes or no?
Yes.
You've done drugs with him?
Yes, I have.
Cocaine, right?
Cocaine, yes.
Alcohol?
Alcohol, yes.
Now, you try to conduct yourself as a gentleman, right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Depp, this is a text message exchange that you had with Paul Bettany on June 11th, 2013. You text Mr. Bettany, let's burn Amber. You see that?
I do see that.
The next text down, you say, let's drown her before we burn her. I will fuck her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead. Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
And you wrote that about the woman who would later become your wife.
Yes, I did.
Dark humor.
The text messages that I apologize that everyone's had to experience. I am ashamed of some of the references made. I'm embarrassed that at the time, the heat of the moment, the heat of the pain that I was feeling went to places.
Thank you. Mr. Rottenborn? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Think about the message that Mr. Depp and his attorneys are sending to Amber, and by extension to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere.
When Mr. Depp brought this case for defamation, Ms. Heard went all in. She spun a story of shocking, overwhelming, brutal abuse.
If you didn't take pictures, it didn't happen. If you did take pictures, they're fake.
She came into this courtroom prepared to give the performance of her life, and she gave it.
You didn't seek medical treatment. You weren't injured. If you did seek medical treatment,
It's time for you, the jury, to come to a decision.
this trial is about so much more than Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
What is at stake in this trial is a man's good name.
It's about freedom of speech. Stand up for it, protect it,
What is at stake at this trial is a man's life.
and reject Mr. Depp's claims against Amber.
The life that he lost when he was accused of a heinous crime,
He doesn't stop there, because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp.
and the life he could live when he was finally vindicated.
And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation against you.
The mountain of evidence that Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard is simply not there.
A smear campaign that lasts to this very day.
Either he hit her countless times, or you can't believe a single word that comes out of her mouth.
He will do everything he can to destroy your life, to destroy your career.
All right. It is out of my hands. So just a reminder that you're not to read anything about this case, you're not to watch anything about this case, you're not to listen to anything about this case. This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online sites. Further, you're not to read, watch, or listen to anything about the case on social media and sites, any blogs or similar sites. In addition, you must not communicate with anyone about the case.
Tonight, with his high-profile defamation case now in the hands of the jury, Johnny Depp is letting his hair down. The actor spotted performing on stage in England after explosive closing arguments Friday.
Dear Johnny Depp, I stand with you.
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 On TikTok, the hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp now has nearly 20 billion views, while the hashtag Justice for Amber Heard has 77.5 million. Well, I do.
Jury's been dismissed for the weekend, so that's it. Now we have a long weekend and wait until Tuesday. What are we gonna do?
E noi possiamo fare alcune considerazioni non molto buone.
Guys, is anyone else freaking out? You have to wait an entire weekend to see what's going on in this case. Sorry for shaking the camera, but I am stressed. I'm not be able to relax now. I'm going to be thinking about this all weekend. I'm freaking out.
How long is this going to take?
Think about it right now. Johnny Depp in the public is about as radioactive as Chernobyl soil. And there is a real risk that not only could he lose this case as the plaintiff, but Heard has a $100 million counterclaim against him. So this thing could get real bad, even worse, real fast for Mr. Depp.
I thought it was important to come out because she didn't really have any supporters out here. I think especially today, I'm the only one out here.
Man, my heart is racing. It is literally like, whew. I've never been this nervous for a verdict before.
So we've got literally 5 minutes. So guys, which way is it going to go? I've asked you. And on the poll, it's gone up to 74% of you think that Johnny will win, with neither being the next choice.
So you're in court now. Whatever else is going on in your life, it's like, I'm sorry, court has resumed.
Oh, here's the barn witch. Here she is. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. She looks so happy. Oh, I can't wait to see that smile turn upside down. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Amber Heard is the only one in court. Johnny Depp is currently in the UK.
He's not at the courtroom. She's gone to the courtroom, Amber Heard, and apparently her people are already saying, well, doesn't it say it all?
We're ready for the jury.
He's gallivanting on a rock concert over there.
They look pretty stoic. What do you guys think in the chat? I wonder who the jury's looking at. All right, Mr. Four-Person, is this the verdict of the jury? All right, is it unanimous?
All right, let's see it.
In civil case number CL 2019
I got my mega plan ready.
2911,
Oh my God.
Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard.
Here we go.
1. As to the statement
we go.
appearing in the online op-ed entitled Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Depp wins, count
by a
one.
greater weight of the evidence.
Oh,
that
shit.
Question. The statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. The question. The statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question. The statement was false. Answer, yes. Question. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question. The statement
It's gone Johnny's way.
Mr. Depp. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer,
それいい
yes.
んだけど、スキャンダルも別にバリューはないじゃん。ストックだよ。名連載とか。てか漫画だよ。司馬遼太郎の漫画ってボロすぎる。全然ずるいから。
Question. The defamatory implication
my God.
was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes.
Oh, yes.
We, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. We, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Oh my God.
Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Oh, she wins one count in her counterclaim.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And we speak for everyone.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial announced its verdict, ruling in favor of Johnny Depp.
Love you, Johnny. We love you, Johnny. We love Johnny. I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
A verdict with little victory when the battle has been so brutal.
Amber Heard was not a good witness, and juries react to that.
I think the jury got it wrong, Jake. I'm very disappointed in the jury verdict. I think this is another big win for powerful men, and it's a colossal loss for women.
This was a humiliation ritual intending to put women in their place. If you speak out about abuse, there will be consequences. It was the verdict we all wanted, guys. Yay! Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp.
The pleasure with which we're humiliating Amber Heard is just as troubling as the glamorization of Johnny Depp in this story.
When it's somebody that we know, somebody that we maybe like, they don't want to have to think this person is really capable of doing what's alleged in court.
I've never had as many emails as I've received about this very topic. I've heard from men who have been abused. I've heard from women who are survivors who don't believe Amber Heard and say she's hurting survivors. So there's a lot of feelings out there.
But one of the things I hope that this trial raises awareness of is the complexity of domestic violence and some of the gendered implications of it, particularly when we're talking about male victims of domestic violence.
アクション問題はなんかいけそうだけどね。昔の東大でやってたさ、白熱教室あれとかなんかネットフリックスでいけそうだけどね、今こそサブスクで見る人いる、まあ、見ないから。
Listening to you has been torturously painful, triggering, and unbearable for many.
The harm you've done going forward to every woman who goes to report domestic violence is immeasurable, but you've reminded the army of survivors that abuse has no gender, and that a man who speaks out about being abused must too be heard. Then you weaponized our movement against the person you had victimized. All this for what? The minute survivors heard you say, "You make me do this," we knew who you really were, an abuser, and Johnny was your victim, a survivor.
I'm feeling incredibly triggered and re-traumatized as someone who's experienced relationship abuse in the past. But I'm not feeling triggered on behalf of Johnny Depp.
What we're seeing happen, stereotypes that are coming out, right, that are calling Amber Heard a liar, glorifying Johnny Depp as this amazing man, right, is the reason why Me Too started. It's why activists really wanted to fight for this movement and why it's so important, because women didn't feel, and you know, survivors of all genders didn't feel like they could report, didn't feel like it was going to be welcome.
What does it mean for that? Are we at the end of Me Too? Is this a reversal? Where are we?
I mean, it's a backlash to Me Too. And what we're seeing unfold on the internet is that we're proving them right. We're saying that, yes, you will be silenced, you will be humiliated.
I am not taking any sides. It sounds like Heard did allegedly do some pretty malicious shit during the course of their relationship. But I am feeling some kind of way about the way that Heard is being inhumanely attacked every day on a global scale. And here's what this means for victims of abuse. Fewer victims will come forward, especially if they haven't been perfect during the course of their relationship with the abuser. So if you're not the perfect victim because you did something wrong, you fought back, you're an imperfect person, then the world will lob every available insult at you to get you to shut up.
First question, how is Amber doing? One of the first things she said is, I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women in and outside the courtroom. Let me ask you about social media. It was incredibly lopsided and vitriolic against Amber Heard. Do you think that had an effect on the case? Absolutely. Do you think jurors were aware of it? How can you not? They went home every night. They have families. The families are on social media. Do you believe the jurors saw any of that, were swayed by any of that?
No, I don't think there's any reason to believe that the jurors violated their oath.
Had a 10-day break in the middle because of the judicial conference. There's no way they couldn't have been influenced by it. And it was horrible.
It is everywhere, but at the same time, they were admonished every single night. And they had a tremendous amount of respect, I think, for the court and the process, and they were doing the best that they could.
I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that and had argued against it because of the sensitive nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
By allowing cameras in the trial, you opened up the space for TikTok meme. And you did have obviously like competing social media hashtags, right? Yeah. In support for one or the other. But there was a lot of research showing that the hashtags for Johnny Depp had been essentially created and proliferated and manipulated far and wide across the internet.
People say it's bots. The scale of like the misinformation about this trial is truly unprecedented.
Okay, I'm watching this interview with Amber Heard's lawyer. She's very articulate, by the way, which is completely in contrast to the way that she was portrayed on social media. And so naturally, go to check out the comments. They're all very disparaging. They're racking up tons of likes, 16,000, 25,000, 33,000. But when you actually go to click into these profiles, they're all fake. Like, none of these people are real. Zero content. And then you start to realize, like, these are probably bots. And when you actually click on the profile of the person who posted this video, it's a super pro Johnny Depp fan account, which is probably a bot too. We're being influenced by bots interacting with bots interacting with bots.
Do you know anything about an online campaign on behalf of Johnny Depp?
That was absolutely absurd and baseless.
And you know for a fact that neither he nor his agents or anyone tried to, in some way, pay for or otherwise encourage this kind of social media activity.
Categorically false.
I gotta thank you. I've been through a similar thing, and I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You didn't give up. To help make sure people heard the truth.
Guys, I met Johnny Depp. I'm not just saying I shook his hand. I spent quality time with Johnny Depp.
You guys were being warriors. I mean, it stunned me. It stunned me that all you got together and lifted me above the horror show.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, I learned so much from you guys. Learned so much from watching you guys.
This is the case that, though there is a verdict, just will not end. Why? Because Amber Heard has not stopped talking about this case.
She sat down for an exclusive interview with Savannah Guthrie. You guys are going to hear this one.
Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Yeah, because you lied and the public didn't buy it. Isn't falling for your nonsense anymore.
The jury's not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
Hi, everybody there on Andy's Popcorn Planet. I can only say thank you from the very recesses of my being for everything, for being around for me, for your support. And, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of survivors want to thank you, and thank you for everything, man. Incredible. There's an abundance of people who also agree and think that you're lying, that we all are angry at you.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser.
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're
I never had to instigate it.
She believes every word she's saying.
Nice spin there.
Then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, the victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of 2 hours or the 3 hours those clips are excerpts from.
What? What do you mean it doesn't represent it? What do you mean by that? Yeah, it does, because it's in the recording. You can't sit there and say, well, it doesn't represent the whole thing. It does.
Amber Heard wanted to characterize Johnny Depp as a character. There were many memes from the trial, but now memes from the interview.
The Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime, and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
You mean to tell me that fool was lying to us the whole time? His hands were not really made of scissors?
What we really want to get into right now is what the jury didn't see, what wasn't allowed during the course of this trial. Over 6,000 documents have been unsealed in this case. This would have been very relevant for the jury to hear.
Wanted to get hold of those documents, you had to go to the Virginia courthouse and make a request. So JD fans crowdfunded getting hold of the unsealed documents.
Andrea Burkhart, who is a YouTube commentator and is a criminal defense attorney, she crowdsourced the funds in order to buy these documents.
If you've been watching this case for a while, you know that Amber Heard has a habit of hiding behind information that can't be verified, but it looks like that might not be the case. What spurred this was when they were in court to sign the judgment and sentence, Judge Escarati voiced her intention to unseal materials that had previously been sealed, and she said that many of the things were sealed because we didn't want to have any taint to the jury. So if Amber Heard was hoping to keep all of this stuff secret, I think she's going to find herself out of luck.
Let's go back to there was a plane incident where Depp allegedly kicked Amber Heard on a plane. I believe it was in 2014.
Did you observe Mr. Depp kick or throw anything at each other on the plane?
No, I don't recall that at all. There were texts from Johnny Depp's assistant, Stephen Duders, to Amber Heard. Quote, if someone was truly honest with him about how bad it really was, he would be appalled. I'm sad he does not have a better way to really know the severity of his actions yesterday. Unfortunately for me, I remember them in full detail, everything that happened. He was appalled. When I told him he kicked you, he cried. Why was these text messages not introduced? I mean, this felt very pivotal for Amber Heard's case.
The court ruled on those. They're irrelevant to the case at hand of defamation. There was so much evidence in this case, and now we're seeing even more evidence. And in the pretrial hearings, they have to, rule what is admissible, what isn't. And yeah, there's some of these things that are really on the line of whether they should or shouldn't have been admissible.
Depp supporters have been unliking Depp's victory post over the weekend. The discovery of the unlikes has come after the unsealing of pre-trial documents that the judge ruled not relevant to the case.
We're going to dive into all of these things today so you can decide for yourself.
Previously sealed court documents, they revealed texts from Depp and his assistant, all but confirming Heard's allegation that he kicked and beat her in front of his staff on a private plane.
First, any text communications between Heard and Stephen Deuters on May 24th and 25th in 2014. Despite having previously imaged Mr. Deuters' phone, Mr. Depp has been unable to locate a series of text messages between Heard and Deuters following the quote-unquote Boston plane incident that Ms. Heard has produced. Strangely, the texts produced by Ms. Heard are in a different format than all other texts she produced. The veracity of these text messages is critical and subject to serious question.
So what is the truth? This question of the truth of the matter, I can't answer. In fact, no one can. No one knows what happened between these two people. Sounds like there is evidence that they were both abusive toward each other, but it's a lot of he said, she said, and it's nearly impossible to find resolution and truth.
The public is a second jury, us making up our own decisions and really swayed on people's public opinion, including the jurors, of these two characters.
People who've been accused of wrongdoing, the goal is to get a form of justice, a sense of redemption for themselves. It's about clearing their name and trying to establish what the truth was of this relationship or this incident in a public court of law.
He's won already in the court of opinion, and he needed the court process to clear his name. The thing is about justice is that it's not about the truth, it's not about right or wrong, it's about what the judge or jury believes.
We now live in a time where we don't necessarily believe who's right, we believe who we like the most because of who they are. The outcome of this trial will have ramifications, if nothing else, how people believe in their stories.
13時からは午後版でパートのエリさんも加わり、ここから
上から目線じゃなくなれば改革すんの。だから、再選してバイアウトすればいいじゃん。自分たちだけはぬるま湯に使ってたいって君らについに来たからさ、メディアが変わったら日本は変わると思うよ。もう一気に変わると思うよ。もうさすがにね、東京の若い人とかはもう気づいてさ、相手にもしなくなったじゃん。